How does that work, Dana? Because I see a lot of people, like, people always bring up the fighter pay with the UFC, but what's like, isn't Logan complaining right now that he didn't get his checks from Floyd? Is that like a boxing issue versus
you don't
boxing thing?
You don't ever hear that coming out.
To this day,
you hear a guy going, I want to make $30 million. I didn't get paid enough. You don't ever hear guys going, yeah, they didn't pay me yet, ever.
Is that like a boxing issue?
Well, here's what happens when you go in and you do these fights. And you make them, and Hunter, correct me if I'm wrong. You do these fights that are exhibitions or whatever. The commission isn't overseeing it. So let's say I did a fight with Mike. I got Mike fighting, Francis or something. The athletic commission gets the money up front, so they pay the fighters.
Either way, the last thing you really need in your life is for things to go wrong. And you were showing off how you were a big shot financially when you didn't have to, really. You didn't have to do that. And now you have this egg on your face and things are falling apart. And now people are wondering, did you get screwed? Or was it your own financial ignorance?
Now, he's accused in multiple lawsuits, all right, of owing millions for luxury watches, gold, and rent as well on the apartment that we just talked about, okay? And so he's got about, I want to say, I counted about 6 lawsuits.
Dana White criticized Floyd Mayweather for chasing another fight with Manny Pacquiao, saying the move is clearly about money. He called the situation disappointing and questioned why someone with his past success would need to return like this, raising doubts about his current financial condition.
Do what they got to do and say what they got to say to try to, to get in there and make money. It's not even going to be funny. It's going to be bad.
Logan Paul claimed that Floyd Mayweather still has not paid him from their exhibition bout, which has led to more questions about his finances and whether he is dealing with money issues or struggling to meet certain financial obligations.
Of doing the fight in the States with a different company. That is the company that put on the fight. That is the company that paid me. But he sold our fight with my name and likeness to someone else in Dubai for $10 million cash. It's our fight, bro. Our deal was 15%. He fucking smoked me. So I got 15% of it. 15% of $10 million is $1.5 million. That company that paid him that money is suing him. I actually don't know the status on that lawsuit. I should check in because he still owes me money, but he has a bunch of legal trouble at the moment. That I don't think I'm ever getting the money.
He just sold his house in Vegas.
Did he really?
Yeah.
I think he's facing a bunch.
Rinsed on that house. He started at $14 million. He custom built the house, by the way, in like 2006.
Yeah.
Started at 14, reduced to 12,
yeah.
10, 8 came on the market,
Yeah.
and it was a lot of house for...
Logan Paul explained that their fight was handled by a different company in the United States which was responsible for payments, but he said Mayweather sold the same fight using his name and image to another group in Dubai for $10 million in cash. He said their agreement was that he would receive 15%, which comes to $1.5 million, but claims he has not received it. He also mentioned that the company involved has taken legal action against Mayweather and added that with all the legal problems surrounding him, he doubts he will ever see the money. He also pointed out that Mayweather recently sold his Las Vegas house, which was originally listed at $14 million, then reduced multiple times until it reached around $8 million, saying it was still a massive property for that price.
Way back, again, 5 years ago now, but that was like the initial rumblings around that fight. And what Floyd did was use Mayweather Promotions to bring them this fight and say, if you'll front us this money, we'll put this fight here. They fronted him the money. He took the money, had the fight at the Hard Rock in Miami with Fanmio instead. That was the company that put it on, Fanmio. And Logan saw none of that front end 10 mil, and the people that paid Floyd the 10 mil never saw a dime back. It's nasty work what he did. But this has been like one of Floyd's MOs, is that he leverages his fight name or his quote unquote assets, and which is what, a lot of wealthy people do. They leverage their assets to take out bigger loans or, whatever. But Floyd does it in such a reckless way that no one ever sees return on it. He just takes money. It isn't a loan. He steals.
Dana White also said that Floyd Mayweather earned huge money during his career, with one of his biggest paydays coming from the massive fight against Conor McGregor, which brought in an enormous amount of revenue.
Crazy. So you buy a watch and a car, you're down 10. That's nuts. That's nuts.
Crazy.
I remember Iran Barkley was talking about that. Iran Barkley, when he was in his prime, was hanging out with all these professional athletes, and everybody was getting diamond crusted chains and this and that, and he was keeping up with these people. Like, you got to keep up with the Joneses. And he just found himself like draining all of his money. He was talking about it like that was the biggest detriment to him being able to save any money.
They trying to keep up.
Yeah, which I thought was funny when I was listening to this conversation with Chad Ochocinco. He was talking about it. He was like,
his jewelry fake.
Yeah, he was wearing fake jewelry.
But who would know?
What's that?
Who would know? He
No
Chad
one know. Exactly.
It's
Fake
like when
jewelry,
they look at him, like
flying economy. He was sleeping at the stadium.
According to Wade Plemons, Floyd Mayweather did not manage his money well early on, and after his peak years ended, he kept returning to the ring through exhibition fights as a way to continue making money and recover financially.
Taking shots at a great fighter, Mayweather. Probably the same people that were, applauding him and saying how great he was at one point, and now they're taking shots at him like they're almost, like they get pleasure out of seeing a great fall. Potentially
You're right.
fall. Oh yeah, like you said, he was Mayweather, Money Mayweather, and now he's suing because he went through his money, he blew his money, whatever. Look, I don't know what the truth is fully in there. I know Steven Espinoza was named. He ran Showtime at the time. He was named him. I never was a fan of Espinoza. Again, I'm not afraid to say and not mince my words when I feel a certain way. And I've taken arrows for it, and of course I've also taken some praise for it. That people say, hey, Teddy's going to say what he feels. I was never a fan of him. I never thought he was a man that kept his word. I never thought he really did a great job over at Showtime. I mean, they put some good fights on because the fights were available, because the landscape made it.
Joe Rogan stated that Floyd Mayweather spent his earnings without much control, living a very expensive lifestyle, and treating his money as if it would never run out, which may have caused financial pressure over time.
Contact my people again later, and hopefully I can get it this afternoon to actually read the specifics of the suit and what the allegations are. But the fact that Floyd would encounter some financial issues post his boxing career is not in any way a surprise to me. When you see the types of things that, if you believe anything that he puts on his social media, the travel that he does, the places he goes, and the amount of entourage he has, I mean, that's like a money pit. I mean, whether you're flying on private jets or you're staying at first class hotels, or you're buying expensive jewelry and cars and bags and you name it. I mean, it's all good when you're making those gigantic paydays and they're coming in, a couple times a year. You're making 40 million here and 25 million there, or even more, 100 million plus, when he fought the big mega fights with guys like Conor McGregor and Manny Pacquiao. But when that stops, that money doesn't, it goes.
Teddy Atlas said that some people feel satisfied seeing Floyd struggle now, because for years he showed off his wealth in a way that made others feel jealous of his success and lifestyle.
Allegations about the 340 million, it just didn't ring true to me, because Al Haymon, who is not named in the suit, but apparently is supposedly part of this problem, whatever. But I mean, I've known Al Haymon and covered Al Haymon's fighters and his business since the day he stepped in boxing in like 2002 with Vernon Forrest. And all that time, and literally in terms of the PBC, a couple hundred fighters that he's dealt with, maybe not personally, but that his team is and his company. To a fighter, you never hear anybody, even when they're retired or they're not with Al anymore, nobody talks bad about him. In fact, if you ask most fighters, they'll tell you how good to them that he has been. That type of money that they've helped him make, and the person that he's paid, and the guidance that he's offered.
Dan Rafael explained that the financial concerns around Floyd Mayweather Jr. are not shocking when you look at his career closely. He said anyone paying attention could have expected this outcome, because of how openly Mayweather handled his money over the years. He built a public image based on luxury and excess, constantly showing private jets, expensive cars, designer items, and costly trips, which became a major part of who he was in the public eye.
We are going to go through in this video. Now, I've been covering boxing for double-digit years. Allow me to take you through it. A simple Google search shows Floyd Mayweather. You type in his name, you're going to see some fight photos and whatnot. But the top stories, and there's multiple stories, and we're going to take a look at some of them. But as mentioned, Business Insider is now reporting what you see on the screen. that Floyd Mayweather is being accused in lawsuits of owing millions of dollars for luxury watches, gold, and rent on palatial apartment, right? The bullet points. Floyd was sued for allegedly failing to pay rent.
While this image created a sense of success, it also raised concerns about how sustainable it was long-term. Dan Raphael said maintaining such a lifestyle requires careful planning, especially after retirement when income slows down. He explained that the real issue is not how much money was earned, but how it was managed and protected over time, and now with reports of financial pressure and continued exhibition fights, the situation seems to reflect those earlier concerns, showing how important smart decisions are after a successful career.
Some represents the $500K, $500,000 in arrears plus late fees minus a deposit that Mayweather paid at the start of the lease and the $100,000 catch-up payment. So they deducted what he did submit when he was made aware of this, the $100K, and I guess a deposit. So the remaining balance is that. An attorney for Mayweather did not provide a comment by deadline. He has not responded to the lawsuit in court. In a separate legal matter, so we've already went over one with this luxury condo in Manhattan, right? But a separate legal matter, a Miami jeweler sued Floyd Mayweather last month, alleging the boxer owes more than $1 million for jewelry that he took but never paid.
Floyd Mayweather Jr. was once known for constantly showing wealth and presenting himself as financially unstoppable, but recent reports suggest a different reality. According to a boxing analyst, there has been a financial setback with legal action involving major business partners. Over the years, Mayweather worked closely with figures like Steven Espinoza and networks like Showtime, which helped generate massive revenue, but a current lawsuit worth around $340 million claims that large payments were never fully made.
In the contract, guess what? Al Haymon is clear. And now it explains why Floyd don't have Al Haymon in the lawsuit. He can't sue him. Come on, man. Al covered his tracks. Now, he may be getting sued by big corporations, stuff like that, but he's not being sued by any fighter. They can't sue him. You get what I'm saying? Floyd Mayweather messed up. And adds insult to injury, Floyd Mayweather has a gambling problem and he spends a lot of money. He loves to spend money. So whatever he have that's in his possession, he's spending that and blowing that on top of the $340 million that he said that's owed to him. Meaning that he never really got paid from the Manny Pacquiao and Conor McGregor fight. Come on, man. Al Haymon got power of attorney. You dig? And he covered his tracks. So shout out to the brother man, Al Haymon. You did a good job.
This situation raises serious concerns about financial management, contract clarity, and long-term planning in boxing. The difference between his past image and current legal battles has surprised many people. What once looked like total control now appears far more complicated, showing that even highly successful careers can face problems when business dealings become unclear.
When you've been praising him and worshiping him, continue to praise him and worship him then. You get what I'm saying? You dig? True. And another thing, let's thank Al Haymon.
Well, you know, I guess I gotta be like everybody else and thank Al Haymon.
That's what y'all been doing. You are pro Al Haymon and PBC YouTube channels, and a lot of you fan bases online. That's what you've been doing. Continue to praise him then. Al is a smart businessman. He finessed the game. Let's give Al Haymon a round of applause. Good job, Al. You did a good job. And this is a lesson to all of those out there, you know, who think because you signed with the black man that you will not be taken advantage of and the white man is the evil devil. If that's your position, there ain't nothing wrong with that. I don't have a problem with however you feel either way. But just understand, when someone wants to steal from you, they don't recognize.
Coach Malachi explained that Floyd Mayweather Jr. is involved in a major dispute, claiming around $340 million was either lost or mishandled through deals with Steven Espinoza and Showtime. He suggested that the way contracts were structured may have protected certain individuals like Al Haymon from being included in the lawsuit, depending on how the agreements were written.
Was too distracted spending. And when you see somebody like Floyd Mayweather, that's the oldest trick in the book, y'all. Y'all know. When y'all see somebody flogging money everywhere, they got this, they got that, they got this. Was it Gervonta Davis? Tank told us 2 years ago that the reason they held Floyd Mayweather, you can put it back on the screen, captain, in Dubai is because he had owed them money and they wouldn't release him until he announced the fight to give them their money back. You know they do that over there in Dubai, right? You ain't going nowhere if you owe a debt. He was trapped over there for almost 2 months, according to Giovanni. They shared the same manager, Al Layman, who collected money in cash because Floyd Mayweather gave him a power of attorney to do so. And so when Floyd went down there and sued Showtime, he's suing Showtime, the company, the network, that publicizes these fights.
The discussion also shows how complex financial deals in boxing can shield important figures from legal issues. At the same time, Malachi pointed out that Floyd's spending habits also play a role, mentioning his high expenses on gambling and luxury. He added that even while claiming unpaid money from big fights, financial management remains a concern. Overall, the situation appears to be a mix of business complications and personal spending choices.
Gave his money in cash to his manager, Al Layman, and Al Layman spent the money. The Muslim in the bow tie spent the money. You see a man coming and he a Muslim in a bow tie, he's spending your money. Oh, it's gone. It's good. It's gone. You know they send the Nation of Islam down there. You seen the Muhammad Ali story? Don't act like you ain't seen that. Nation of Islam was all up over there. They were all up over Floyd Mayweather's fights and bank accounts and stuff. And so he received it in cash, and Floyd Mayweather is saying he's missing it, and how dare Showtime gives him the money without his permission. He was like, well, wait a minute, but you gave him permission. Yeah, but I didn't tell y'all, I told him. So he's trying to use a way to get in there so he can hold him responsible, because he know he's not going to get the money back from the Nation of Islam at all. That money gone. That money gone.
Tasha K explained that even when Floyd Mayweather Jr. appears extremely wealthy, the reality behind the scenes can be more complicated. She said large earnings do not always mean full financial security, especially when there are hidden costs, ongoing deals, and delayed payments that the public does not see. These unseen pressures can slowly build and create serious problems over time.
He was seeing how much Floyd was making, right? And Floyd himself was flaunting himself like he was the guy who was making that kind of money. And for all intents and purposes, I assume he was. Everybody assumed he was, and it seemed like he thought he was, because he wasn't complaining. He was showing off, you know? This is why, as I get older, I feel like, and everybody always tells you this when you're young, like, keep your finances private, you know, and this is why I think this is a big reason why. First and foremost, you notice that if you don't keep your finances private, everybody and their mothers ask you for money constantly. And they don't ask you for...
That happens either way.
And they don't ask you... Well, people assume you have money, but if you flaunt it, you definitely... They confirm you have money. And they don't ask you for money like you need to buy the Rolex or the Lamborghini. They'll guilt you into it. They need their mother's dying in the hospital. They need to pay for a funeral. Their kid is...
She also pointed out a common mistake, which is spending freely while responsibilities continue to grow. In Mayweather's case, his luxury lifestyle creates the image of endless wealth, but behind it there may be high expenses, investments, and commitments that require constant income. When that income slows, these responsibilities can quickly create pressure. Her view shows that wealth is not only about earning money, but also about managing it properly. Over time, without planning, even huge fortunes can face serious strain.